Hello everybody and welcome back to Alma. So to kick off today's episode, we're going to go and get our oat straw. We're going to go get that all baled. And then in that time it should leave a few more products to spawn in the yard, which we'll have to sort out. But the big thing that I am looking to try and get done is if I show you the cows. So our cows, they have 5,500 litres of silage. I'm hoping to try and get through that today, which then will mean, well, in the time that we spend in today, because as soon as that's empty we can empty it out and then start just loading up purely with TMR, so we're making the most out of the space that we've got there. So right here we're set to 180 centimetre bales, and yes, we're going to get this done. I am debating whether I think I might take a mod or two off, or change a mod or two, because we do have the contract boost where we do get an advantage of getting discounts on fields, where I believe in a series like Saxlingham where the field prices are astronomical, they're in keeping but astronomical. I think it's good for them. For a series like this, where if we go look at, you've got the likes of this big field down here, well, that's probably a very bad comparison. What's 37? Yeah, so that's 168,000. So it's a decent sized field for not a lot of money. So, what's the field? 9 acres. Up here, you got 4 acres, 86. So the fields themselves aren't too expensive. Like that one, field 31.4. So that's only just slightly bigger the actual field size, but that's 546 and this is 4, so there's a huge difference in them. So I am going to knock down, well, I'm going to completely take off that we get no bonus for doing contracts, because if you look on the time saving stock check, if we were to go and sell all our products now, we've already got 800 and some thousand, which we could do a lot with that, put it that way. But anyways, we're going to get this field baled, and once this is done, I'll bring you all back. So I should probably say the whole reason why we're starting on doing this job first, is this field needs ploughing, and I'd like to give our worker as much time as possible to get on and get that done, which it will take, I imagine we'll do a few months before he eventually gets it done. Right, let's just gather that little bit up there, and then I think I missed a bit down on this bottom corner near the bridge. There it is, just a tiny little spot. So we'll pick that up, and then now we can get the baler empty already. I do love this unload bales early mod. I can't comprehend why it's not base game to be able to do that. I always remember doing a cotton harvest on U-Baler On, which really enjoyed doing the harvest, trying to experience and use everything. But then I couldn't complete because the harvester hadn't filled up enough. I forget whether it was the case or the John Deere, but the harvester hadn't filled up enough that I couldn't get the bale out of it. So sort of, what would it have been? Half hour, 40-minute contract, and then just being unable to finish, which was rather annoying. What do you think of my cherry tree? I decided just to put a bit of, instead of just being concrete, have a little island there, and cherry trees always seem nice. It's just a shame that they don't seem to blossom for very long. But right, we need two. I'm going to drop this here. We will have a tidy up at some point, especially when we buy ourselves a new shed. I'm going to put the John Deere onto the auto stacker, and then that means I'm going to take the case now. Let's hop into there, turn that on, and we'll drop that off. This is going to go onto the plough, and we'll take the case down to our oat field so that they can plough and, well, one, remove the tram lines, and two, it's got a need ploughing state, which will all help towards our yield, or at least I would think so, because I've never played with periodic ploughing on. It's always just seen when you look at a plough and you're only getting 3 metre working width, you know, but you need 250 horsepower, whatever it is, it always sort of just puts you off a bit. Where I did have a subscriber, I think they're called Dancing with the Clouds, made a comment, which I completely agree with, where the brilliant thing about FS is you can play it however you want. So you can, if you want to play realistically, you can do, you know, or thanks to the amazing work modders do, you can fast farm, you've got lift above L's, you've got everything. I know for people playing on PC, it's a lot easier for you to do things, especially when you put the cheat commands, or however you want to call it. When you get them on in the game, you can do it right from the word go. For myself, I started off as a console player on here, so I can see, well, since transitioning to PC, I do have the game on. Oh, I got this on a PS5. I do have the game on there, but I just don't use it because it's so much easier having everything at your, like the easy dev mod, having all that sort of thing. I've got a proper steering wheel all set up at my desk, and editing everything is so much easier on PC. Anyways, now we're here, we can get these bales off. I wonder how many there'll be, because I don't know. If someone does know the answer to this, please do leave a comment below. How much, whether the straw yield for oats is less than what it is for wheat or barley, or whether it's just something that just stays the same. There's going to be a lot of turning to do in here. Right, this shouldn't take too long. I think, what, 30 seconds in a time lapse?
No need for fancy lines or rhyme. Live the moment, feel the time. In this space we all belong. Hear the chorus, sing the song. Let's break free from the moment.
So how close was I with that time lapse? 30 seconds? We'll have to, well, only one way to find out is when we do the editing. So, what are, I know I've already looked at the cows, but I haven't seen how much milk do they have. So 4.5. So we could go take a load of milk, but we'd only be just over half full. But come tomorrow or the next month, we will then be full. So we need to sort of try and make a decision there. But we do need to, let's flick to here. How much is in this milk churn? So that's just over half full. I did move those 2 pallets just off camera, because I'm very conscious with these triggers being so small for the productions. Well, definitely for the animals and the productions up at the top. That if we don't keep an eye on them, they'll get full, and then we'll be missing out on quite a bit of money. Right, let's go take these round the back of here now. Which reminds me, for the tomato ketchup, we'll have to have a go look at. Oh, I've hit the shed. We'll have to go have a look up there, see what's happening there, because I imagine we'll need to get a forklift for there as well. So we're going to be spending a fortune on forklifts, which is, let's have a look. So that just moves them, does that one? So it doesn't lift them or anything. Well, it does lift them, but you can't. I don't think you can put them in the back of anything. Yeah, no. Don't think we can use that. So looking at this, we have that one. We have this one, and we've used that one, and that's, I think we've used all of them really. That's probably the best thing for us to look at, but I am going to, because we're a bit short of money for the time being, do we hire purchase it or do we have a look to see what there could be to sell? So let's just have a quick look. So I'm just having a look here. Pumpkins. We've got the exact same amount of literage, well, there or thereabouts of pumpkins. We do pears and plums and of oranges, but the pumpkins are a lot less. They're max value. What's lemons? So lemons are the same price, and it was apples, so 22 and a bit. Apples are low value, but we want the apples for when we eventually do our apple pies. So that does mean that I am going to go, and when I find it, oh, they're out of water. So I'm going to get the pumpkins, I'm going to deactivate them because I don't believe there's a production that we can use the pumpkins in. We will just have a quick look. So cornbread, that's, yeah, nothing there. Biogas plant, nothing. Grey mill, nothing. Nope. Nope. Yeah. Right, we're going to move everything for the greenhouses, and then we're going to have to load it with water, which, just having a quick another look back, that one's fine, but those two need a fair amount. That's going to take a while, isn't it? Well, that's 2 loads of 8,000 litres apiece, so they've got 16,000 litres of water in total. You'd have seen there was loads of ketchup there at that factory, and looking on the value of it, that ketchup's worth about 50-odd thousand pounds already. So you think we're leasing it for just shy of £500 a month, but yet in a month, if we've had it 2 months, it's netting us £25,000. So it's huge, is that? But off camera, I am just going to finish off filling these up, and then I will go to the cows and I'll get their milk, and we will take that up to the top. Obviously, I'll bring you back when we are doing the last load of water. But what I do want to have a look at, which once this is full and unloading, so we'll get it unloading, then we can go have a look at the map. So put that into there. Do we have any fields ready? I believe the corn won't be, but we may be. Okay, the soybeans aren't either. Okay, they're a fair way off, to be fair. It's only our alfalfa field, which I don't really want to do that. But you can see how our main man's getting on with ploughing, because if we go to that one, you'll see that obviously that needs ploughing and all the others don't. So there's fertilising in 26, so that's something that we could do. Whoa. Yeah, no thanks. Have you seen that? Carrots. That would 5.5 hours. I reckon that would take even longer than that. Absolutely not. Of rock removal. That's an easy £4,400, you would have said. You know what? I'm going to do that. Let's borrow the items for that. Definitely. Stone picking, that's a tiny contract. And then we are also going to... Where was it now? Fertilising. We'll fertilise that as well, which will borrow the items, because that looks like that's the small Deutzfahr. And if it is, I really like... I like the look of the Deutz. The only thing that I think is a downside to them is you don't really get a big one like with John Deere's and your Case and all that and your Classic. You get some big sort of horsepower engines. Whilst if we look in the game to here, medium tractors, there will be a big one in here because I do have a mod in. But Deutz, so 287, which you could argue that is a big tractor, but when you look at your John Deere's that you have here, that's the modded one that goes to 3,100 horsepower. That'd be cool. If you look at these are all 500s, 400s. Not that though. That's 7R. Yeah. So there's big differences in horsepower. 500. What's the big bud? 1,000. So you can see what I mean. Right. I'm just gonna jump cut to doing the last load of water. This bit of water here, it won't fill the greenhouse, but it will empty out our water trailer ready for when we go and get the milk. And there you go. So that is all our greenhouses replenished and ready to go to create us a load more work, because unless we've got a very, very busy sort of month where there's drilling or harvesting or all like that, we're going to be moving pallets pretty much every episode maybe. So let's fill up with milk. We'll take this up because we're going to now to the store anyways, and then it does mean that we can hop in, go do our rock removal and our fertilising contract. I do love seeing all these flags going down the streets. In the UK at the minute we've got it where there's flags appearing everywhere, which personally I quite like it. You know, it's lovely to see. But right, it's only a small trigger box is this, so that's that. Let's get that tipping, and if we now go cycle through, this is what we want. So it's been a while since we did one of these contracts, and yeah, it is the small Deutz. From what I gather, that Deutz file there is the best, newest tractor for the price of it all, if that makes sense. Right, let's go down to here. I forgot how slow this is. Right, we'll go down here because you'll see we have to go just to this little bit here, which luckily isn't far. It's one of the reasons why I decided we'd have a look at this contract. Well, I do like those that rock contract, because it felt very much like you're a landscape gardener turning up to someone's house, you know, to do some groundwork. Although you probably wouldn't drive the skid steer straight from the start. And we got given far too much fertiliser there, so I am going to have to take this back to the farm so that we can empty, because there's no point leaving. We've got the fertiliser, so there's no point leaving it unless there is another fertilising job, a fairly small one, for us to have a go at. Ploughing, spraying. Are these both herbicide? Yeah, herbicide. Yeah, there's no fertilisation jobs, so we'll take this back to the yard, and what I'm going to look at doing is I forget how to do follow me. We do have it on here, but we might as well get the John Deere to follow me so that we both head back. So let's leave that there. Then I think it's something to do with Alt W, or is it right Alt? No, Control, Shift. Right, let's have a look on here. Follow me. Does it say follow? Right control F. Right, that one. There we go. So we'll hop into here and we'll just have a steady ride back to the farm. Just want to make sure this person is actually following us. Yeah. And we've got, this small Deutz only goes 32, so it's the bigger ones that will go 38. Still following? Brilliant. Right, we'll see you back at the farmyard. I should really look to utilise follow me a bit more, especially when harvesting. You know, if I'm in the combine, put a worker with a baler on to do the harvesting. But look, we have got back to the yard, and that has been very uneventful, which is a very, very good thing. So we'll just empty this out up the top here, and then we can look to collect on both our contracts. It is bugging me seeing the mess up here, but at the minute there isn't really much we can do. So let's empty that, and if we hop out, let's go contracts. I'll have a look to see if there is a small shed, so we'll collect that, and then we will collect that one. So there's £11,000. And is there some sort of small shed that won't cost a lot to build in, but obviously is in keeping? Well, that price-wise is brilliant, but I think it's just a bit European. I would have guessed at that. Anyways, this must all be from the same pack, is it? Where's the closest American style? I could be completely wrong in what I'm saying, going a closest American style shed and get it completely wrong. I would say that would be, but that may be a very good option, because that is to do with the map, and it's only £10,000. So do we place that around here, and then we can put all our big bags into here? I think that could very well be what we do. So let's just straighten that out a bit better than where it is. I always like to use the paint lines are out like that. So that's too far. I would say maybe there. So if we go place that there like so, if we jump into here quickly, we'll pull this out the road, and then, like I say, if we get our forklift, we'll be able to load this all up. And it's in keeping that it's where all our fertiliser and everything is. So let's turn that off, get the little fork truck, and yeah, we'll sort this out. So I've probably done a bit more than what I intended to do there. But for £10,000, we've cleaned up all the empty big bags everywhere. The greenhouses are empty. We've kept that spawn point clear over there. And I did speed up time just to get that last egg pallet. So let's just keep an eye on the cows. So they're almost down to the last bit of food. So where is... This can be our last job of the day, I would presume. Oh, we're going to have to use He's on the headlands already. Let's use this. It's here already, and we'll go put this onto the mixer wagon. If we speed up a bit of time, then we can put that full load in, and we know that we're all sorted. The sheep should be absolutely fine because they still have, if we just have a look, we'll see around the corner here, they've still got 2 bales waiting, and I may have stuck. I didn't think about that when I put those bales there, thinking about getting to the mixing wagon. Let's just hope we can do it on this sort of an angle. Yes, of course we can. So we'll take this into the shed, and then, like I say, we'll just have to have a look at how much time to speed up. All these bales on the right here, you'll see that this is where the smaller straw bales are. This is what I want to start using first, and I would imagine the straw that I have up at the top, that will all go to be sold. Right, let's take a wide berth into here, and we won't empty just yet. But what are we on food? So we're on 1,700 litres. I reckon let's fast forward to, let's go to sort of, we'll go to 4 o'clock, like that. And now what are we on? Empty, brilliant. So let's get this emptied into here. And now we know that from now on we can, it should just be total mixed ration going in, unless I get the the mix wrong, and then we'll have to restart exactly what we've just done there. And then what is it like for straw? 26,000 litres, so it needs 12,000 to fill, which, what's in a bale? 5, 6. So these 2 bales, because we are going to look to probably rest the night, these 2 bales, well, they'll fill it, but overnight then it will fill it completely and they'll both go. So we'll definitely get rid of one. It's just whether we get rid of both of them. So let's just drop these in the trigger, which I do like the fact that we can just drop bales in like so. But then I think for the realism it would be quite nice to actually blow them in. 63 litres and 557. We almost got them emptied, but anyways, so in the next episode we will, before we move on into the next month, we'll make sure that we do a mix with the mixer wagon, considering this is all set up. If we have a look at our ploughman, he's now on to the headlands, so he's got another 2 passes of the headlands to go. He has missed the odd little bits, but that doesn't matter, and then we'll have to look at getting that pressed. But right, I think that's pretty much everything. So there's not much more to say than to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video. Please feel free to like and subscribe. It does seriously help the channel out. Even leave me a comment below. I believe helps this channel grow. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.